In a small town surrounded by lush green hills, there lived a young boy named Riyan. He was intelligent, hardworking, and full of big dreams. But he had one habit that often held him back. He talked too much about his plans. Whenever he set a new goal, whether it was about his studies, ambitions, or personal growth, he announced it to everyone. Riyan believed that sharing his dreams would motivate him, and he enjoyed the admiration he received. His friends praised his ideas, his family felt proud of his ambitions, and his teachers encouraged him. Yet, despite all the applause, Riyan struggled to turn his words into actions. He dreamed big, but achieved little. His goals remained just that. Goals, never becoming reality. A familiar stranger. One evening, as Riyan sat on a quiet bench in the town park, lost in thought, an old traveler named Kabir approached him. Riyan had seen him before, an elderly man with kind eyes, always carrying a small leather bag, traveling from place to place. The townspeople respected Kabir, saying he had once been a great scholar who had abandoned a life of luxury to seek deeper wisdom. Kabir noticed Riyan's troubled expression and sat beside him. "You often speak of your big dreams, young man, but tell me, have you achieved any of them?" Riyan was taken aback. He had never spoken to Kabir before, yet the man seemed to know him well. Hesitating, he admitted, "I try my best, but things never go as planned." Kabir smiled knowingly and said, "Let me tell you a story that might change the way you see things." The farmer's secret to success. Many years ago, in a distant village, there was a poor farmer named Rudra. Despite his struggles, he had one dream: to own a vast, fertile farm and live a life of abundance. Rudra worked tirelessly, saving every coin, but he had one rule. He never spoke about his plans to anyone. Villagers often asked him, "Why do you work so hard? What are you trying to achieve?" But Rudra would simply smile and say, "Wait and see." Years passed, and quietly, Rudra bought small pieces of land. He planted crops, expanded his farm, and eventually built a beautiful home. The villagers were shocked. How had he accomplished so much without ever boasting about it? One day, an old friend visited him and asked, "Why did you never tell anyone about your dreams?" With a calm smile, Rudra replied, "Because talking about dreams does not make them come true. When you speak too much, two things happen. First, people discourage you, and second, your mind tricks you into believing you've already achieved something, making you lose the drive to work for it. I chose to let my actions speak instead." A truth that struck deep. As Kabir finished the story, Riyan felt something shift inside him. Had he been wasting his energy on words instead of action? He looked at Kabir and asked, "So, should I never talk about my goals?" Kabir chuckled. "It's not about keeping secrets, it's about protecting your dreams. Share them only with those who truly support you. And instead of talking, let your results do the talking." Riyan now realized his biggest mistake. He had been feeding on admiration instead of putting in real effort. His excitement faded quickly because it was built on words, not hard work. He was deep in thought when Kabir placed a gentle hand on his shoulder and said, "I know what you're thinking, Riyan. I was once like you." Riyan's eyes widened. "You were?" Kabir nodded. "When I was young, I too spoke endlessly about my dreams. But life taught me the same lesson I'm sharing with you today. I lost precious years talking instead of doing. But when I finally learned to work in silence, I achieved more than I ever imagined. And now, I pass this lesson on to you." Riyan's silent transformation. From that day on, Riyan changed his approach. He stopped making big announcements and focused on working in silence. He studied harder, worked smarter, and avoided unnecessary discussions about his dreams. Slowly, he began to see the difference. His achievements started growing, his confidence strengthened, and most importantly, he no longer needed validation from others. When the results of his final exams were announced, Riyan had topped the school. His friends were stunned by his transformation. "How did you do it?" they asked. Riyan simply smiled, remembering Kabir's words, "Work in silence. Let success make the noise." The secret to true success. Years later, Riyan became a successful entrepreneur, inspiring many with his journey. He proved that real success is not about talking, it's about taking action. As he traveled to new places, sharing his wisdom, he often remembered Kabir, the traveler who had once guided him. And now, Riyan had become the traveler, passing the lesson forward. If you want to achieve your dreams, speak less, work more, and let your success tell the story.